had to be second in the town hall. We've had well in the last few actually, starting last night, only and it wasn't. I really didn't expect where we are in a very journey. So it's a boss one thing that there are a lot of very whenever they so when faced when we realized to tap into because a lot of people were a lot right. So um so we were saving. It was a big challenge. It's valuable than um actually it's how to this problem to see how to this more. So of course um really quite able to handle this kind of right things we set to um I have my mom well with need at these assets and so I started making at the time to started seeing use already centralized and improve them the people these problems. So that was development started one second I think uh, some challenge
Yeah. Well, I don't know if this is better now. Just 1 second. Okay. Yeah, I think this is better. Sorry about that. Sorry about the technical issues. Yeah. So I said when we started last year, to delve into the DeFi space, building out Zen Finance. It was basically because of challenges we had faced, with the COVID-19 pandemic, making a lot of people have to tap into savings, of course, because a lot of people were out of jobs, a lot of people needed money, a lot of people needed funds. So what that did was it actually made me start also looking at tapping into my savings because of course, like as an entrepreneur, we face a lot of challenges. And also looking back to my family, my mom as well, we belong to a cooperative, and then had to also tap into savings. We actually realized at the time that the value of the money we had in our savings was like depleting. It wasn't even up to what it was supposed to be, right? Especially when you try to spend it in the real world, when you pull out your funds to spend. So, and that was a major challenge because at the time people had not really put in thoughts into how much devaluation we're facing, in our country and also in other parts of the world. So one of the things I now started doing was to see how to leverage DeFi to be able to solve this problem, because I know that with decentralized finance you have permissionless access, to a global money market, controlled by computers and not by people, and this makes it very easy to earn interest and to be able to determine really how your financial system basically works, right? So you're not restricted by traditional financial systems or middlemen. So that was how basically the journey of creating Zen Finance started, and it's been really remarkable. Over the past months, we've gotten a lot of media coverage from both mainstream media and media that focuses on the crypto space as well. So in the last 2 weeks, approximately 2 weeks, or let me just say last month, it was a really really great month for us. It was very there was a lot of pressure because we had our TGE, we launched our mainnet, and it was just a lot. One of the things that we've always made sure that we do at Zen Finance is to make sure that we have a product, have something that people can use, so have something that has real value to people, you know, and trying to block out that whole crypto hype, because eventually we're sure that hypes always die, but then it's real value that will continue to lead the way. So that being said, we made sure we had our mainnet available last month, even before we deployed. We had our TGE, and we had people using it, giving feedbacks on the mainnet, and it was really great. And our TGE was awesome on Balancer. I would just like to go over that. We actually had we broke some records on Balancer. We had over $47 million in transaction volume in 48 hours, and that was really really awesome. Yeah, we got a lot of feedback from the community. A lot of people complained about gas fees, and because it's on Ethereum network, and the problem really that most people face, which we addressed, and we're happy that people were able to get back, was having problems with slippage. So which is when you try to buy at a certain amount and maybe you get an error, which means that the tolerance between the amount the selected price and then the execution price, there is a difference. And when you don't set your tolerance right, it actually makes that transaction to fail. Actually, the slippage system, the system that manages this, is actually does it in the favor of the buyer. So it prevents things like maybe people, pumping prices, and at the time you're clicking that you want to execute a price, the price has already gone up. So if you're trying to purchase, it means that you're going to pay a lot higher. So the system blocks that. So we tried to explain to a lot of people, and eventually everything was extremely successful. We're happy with the numbers, the overall volume, being able to have. I think we had over 4,000 wallets holding the Xend tokens after TGE on Balancer, which was really, really great. Yeah. So immediately after Balancer, officially we listed on Uniswap, and so far we've gotten 9 exchange listings, of which we have official support for 2, right? By official support, we mean we provided liquidity, right, for 2 of these exchanges. One of them, one is Uniswap, the second one is Bitmax. But we've seen other exchanges list Xend Finance. And one of the things I wanted to also address is a recurring question that always occurs, which is people always ask, why did we list on some exchanges even during the Balancer sale? So one thing that with listing is once your smart contract is live, right, it's almost impossible for exchanges not to list you. Once your smart contract is live, exchanges can easily list you, right? So during the Balancer sale, we didn't list on any other exchange officially, but exchanges already had access to our smart contract and then they listed us. So this is something that a lot of other exchanges have gone ahead to do. And of course, you cannot stop them. So one of the things we just try to say is even when you want to purchase on other exchanges, you need to confirm that the smart contract address is the same to prevent you from being scammed. But we always just put up the official exchanges that we support first. So we are sure that when it comes to security and when it comes to, of course, security, basically, people will not be scammed, Yeah. So one of the other things I'd like to, speak about is our current plan, because after TGE, we're happy to see that we moved to Uniswap. We're happy to see that we continue to have, people purchase the tokens, and trading. Everything has been going on really well, from the community, getting great feedback. People have been suggesting on, asking questions, okay, what are the next steps? And that's actually what I would like to talk about now. So if you recall, at the beginning of this stream, I mentioned something about us being able to create a product first, right? We focus on building value. And that's the first thing. That's our first approach to anything we try to do, right? So, and by building value, one of the things we did was to create our to deploy our mainnet on Binance Smart Chain. And Binance Smart Chain, because it has very low fees, because a lot of people always complain about fees. It has very low fees. Transactions are really executed quickly, right? And of course, there's a lot of community support. So, and this has really helped us. This has really seen a lot of people come in to use the platform and to save. Now, so moving ahead to what our current plans are, one of the things we're focusing on now is adoption and growth, right? One major thing one major problem we're trying to solve is giving people who are financially underserved, people who are living in unstable economies where you have very high level of devaluations or high level of inflations, right, in their local currencies, giving them access to this service, giving them access to this platform to enable them to protect their assets and to earn very high interests, right, on stable currencies. So this is a huge job. It's a huge job for us as a team to execute, and the market is huge. The regions, we're not just focusing, a lot of people have asked, okay, are you guys just focusing on Africa? We're not. Of course, we started here in Africa. We're actually moving to other regions of the world. And you see that even only Africa, right, with over 1.3 billion people, it's a whole lot. The market is really huge, right? And we've seen that with these numbers, being able to onboard these individuals into DeFi is going to be amazing. So that is what we are trying to achieve. And for us to be able to do that, we started an ambassador program. We've gotten a lot of ambassadors right now, and we're still getting more people from the community join, right? And one of the things we're doing with our ambassador program is to be able to enable these ambassadors reach out to audiences in their local communities, create content, translate existing content, and to be able to build, just their own small or subsets, of the Xend finance community over time to be able to ensure education is actually distributed very quickly, because it's easier to handle education when you're dealing with smaller number of people. So that's exactly what we're doing now. And part of our marketing strategies is we're also reaching out to, we're building up educational content, because when our target audience are mainly non-crypto savvy people who do not use the blockchain, or who do not use decentralized apps on a normal day. And it's really interesting to know that within this short period we launched our mainnet, we've seen people move from traditional savings applications to our app. Although there is that minor barrier of people trying to learn, like how things like decentralized wallets, like maybe like MetaMask, how they can connect it. But because they've seen the real value, it's a lot easier for them to just learn or study one or two things, and then consume some content, and then come online and be a part of the platform. We've gotten very good reviews from people here in Nigeria, people that saw what we posted and they were like, wow, are you sure this can work? And we're like, yeah. And they tried it out, and they're leaving existing traditional savings apps to use this. So the thing we're trying to achieve here is to be able to increase adoption. Now, even traditional savings apps can also use Xend Finance, right? And this is the amazing part. It's not really a competition, right? It's actually something that will help them, give much more value to their audience. And I'll be speaking about that later, how integration can work and what we've done so far to enable integration. Yeah. So one of the next things, like I mentioned, is like creating content. We need, so if you have like a huge audience, if you have a learning platform, you can reach out to us. You can go to our website, xend.finance, join our Telegram from the website, or you can check for Xend Finance at Xend Finance. That's the Telegram handle. There are so many fake handles, so many fake websites. So we need to encourage people to go to the right website. Then you can click the links there to make sure you don't make a mistake, right? So there are so many fake sites out there, and we're really working hard to make sure we, report them as much as possible. So yeah, so that's our plan on being able to drive adoption. Okay, so a lot of work will be going on in the coming weeks. A lot of work will be going on. Educational content will be created, reaching to people at the lowest levels on the streets, having physical interactions with people. So these are the things that we're going to be doing in moving forward, to drive adoption. And it's really interesting, because we've already started seeing some of those people come on the platform without us really doing anything. So focusing on this is really going to help us drive adoption and improve on growth. So one other thing we're working on currently, which is already available, is the leaderboard. So the leaderboard is also another very good way to drive growth and adoption. So the leaderboard started off with our pre-launch program. So the pre-launch program was a way of allowing people to use the mainnet, and if they find they can save on the mainnet, okay, test out the different saving strategies, test out the different features on the mainnet, and then apply and report bugs if there are bugs and all that. So it started off that way, and we saw a huge number of people create accounts on the platform, use the platform, and we've been able to learn from that to see that this is a good way to drive growth and adoption. So we extended the leaderboard, and we're now going to even make the leaderboard, after the current pre-launch program prices are distributed, the leaderboard is actually still going to continue, right? It's going to be a continuous thing, because we actually have we have some allocations, right, for the leaderboard program, for the community, for development, and for the ecosystem, essentially, right? So this is a good way to encourage people to use the protocol. So for the leaderboard, we're going to be rewarding the top every month. We're going to be rewarding the top users on the leaderboard. right? We're going to be rewarding them with Xend tokens every single month for the foreseeable future. We're going to be rewarding them with Xend tokens. So for you to qualify to be on the leaderboard, you need to save, have your funds locked in the protocol, and then increase the number of the total amount of transactions you're doing, or increasing the total amount of money you're depositing on the platform. It also improves or increases your level on the leaderboard. It's really interesting and it's fun. We've seen a lot of people very excited about it, reporting their current positions on the leaderboard, and we update the leaderboard every day, right? So that's how you can always check your addresses, and there's no form to fill. So one of the things we've done is, because this is on the blockchain, so we've made sure that all information comes from the blockchain, right? We don't need to trust anybody. So we query the contracts, get all the transactions that have occurred in all the contracts, all the addresses that have performed transactions on the smart contracts, and then we publish them. So we don't need to ask anybody really, what addresses they use, or allow, or make them fill any form. No, that's the beautiful thing about the decentralized nature of the blockchain. So there's no need to trust an entity really. Yeah. So moving forward, one of the things we're now going to be doing we're going to be supporting the Xend tokens on the Binance chain, and I'm super excited to be seeing this. I'm very, very happy to say that, like, in the next couple of days, right, we're going to be having that great support for Xend token on the Binance chain, and we're going to have that the Binance Evolution Protocol, the BEP20 version of the Xend tokens will be available, so people can actually go swap between their ERC20 to BEP20 on the bridge and have access to BEP20. And one very interesting thing about the availability of the Xend tokens, right, on the Binance Smart Chain is that on the mainnet you can now earn rewards. Let me explain that. So a way to incentivize people on to use when they use the protocol is by giving them Xend tokens when they actually perform operations on the protocol. So when you save, right, there's a rewards contract, there's a design that is available already, it's public. When you save on the protocol for a minimum of 1 month, that's a minimum of 30 days actually, right, what happens is, as you're about to withdraw, a certain some calculations are done based on total amount of money you saved on the system, and when you're withdrawing your money plus the interest, you actually earn Xend tokens. So those Xend tokens are actually sent to your wallet. Now, this is a way of ensuring that people use the platform, and it incentivizes them to continue to tell others about it, continue to use the platform, and it's really, really interesting. So we're going to have that service or that feature available on the Binance Smart Chain once we make the bridge announcement, right? So we're also going to even have a way of calculating your reward. So we're going to have a calculator that we're going to put out there, so people can actually calculate their rewards before you even save. So you can know, for example, at this certain period, if I save, say for example, $100, how much will I get in Xend tokens? Now, these parameters that govern these systems, right? These parameters can be changed over time, right? Because at every point in time, the team reviews the total amount of tokens in circulation, makes sure that you don't have inflation, they don't have too much tokens in circulation. And as we are also deploying our governance smart contracts from Q3, according to our roadmap, we are now going to have holders of the Xend tokens being able to vote on how to govern these parameters. And that's a very interesting thing, because we are building a decentralized autonomous organization here. So we need people to be able to vote on multiple proposals, and then determine how the direction of the protocol will go. Now, another thing I'm really excited about, and I've always been with getting questions about it, and I'm very excited to announce that we have our staking program now live on Bitmax. So you can go to Bitmax. We're going to be dropping the official URLs, but it's already available on Bitmax. You can go to Bitmax or Ascendex, from Ascendex, formerly Bitmax. You can go to Ascendex website You can actually check out for the Xend staking program. You can click the link and you can stake your Xend. When you stake your Xend, what it means is that you have a 15% APR. So it means that within a year, annually, you can earn up to 15% of more Xend tokens than you stake. So say, for example, you stake 1,000 Xend tokens, right? And it means at the end of a year, you earn 15% of that 1,000 Xend tokens. The good thing about this is that these tokens are actually paid out on a daily basis. So it's not like you have to wait for a whole year, right? You can be receiving them like in chunks, and you can withdraw your Xend tokens, okay, within whenever you actually want to withdraw your Xend tokens. So this is something really interesting, and we are happy that this staking program is already available, and Xend token holders can go out there and stake their Xend tokens to be able to earn more in future. Yeah, and one of the other things I wanted to mention, like that we're working on, is the software development kit for developers. So like I said earlier, we have traditional financial applications, right, who don't have access to decentralized finance. Even some blockchain applications that do other things on the blockchain but don't have anything relating to DeFi at all. So we're building an SDK that will enable both Web 2.0 applications or traditional applications, enable them to integrate Xend Finance, right, and have access to DeFi. So their users can leverage the SDK and use it to gain access to decentralized finance easily, okay, very seamlessly. So one of the things we're doing is to finalize the development of that SDK, and it should be live by this month. And we've also created a documentation, right, for developers currently who just want to integrate Xend Finance directly from our smart contracts. So if you visit docs.xend.finance, you can scroll down to registry. You see the current existing Xend Finance smart contracts. You see the full documentation on how to connect, on how to use the different saving strategies. It's very easy. You can also study the code if you want to, but if you can't if you don't want to bother yourself with that, you can easily build up your own system, right, around Xend Finance. And this is what we encourage a lot of people to do. Build up your own system around Xend Finance, and then using our smart contracts, you can plug into DeFi and start earning very good APYs, of course, earning good APYs in stable currencies. And so we also have some form of reward system for people. So we're going to also be having hackathons as well. And we're going to have official hackathons, but when people build good things around Xend Finance, they can tag us, right? You can tag us on Twitter. As you should tag us on Twitter. You can also visit our Telegram community to show us what you've built. So we're going to be having rewards. We're going to be rewarding people, okay, when they create good applications around Xend Finance, and when they have a lot of users actually using those applications, it's actually going to enable them earn more rewards. So we have allocations for people like that, or for businesses that build around Xend Finance. So we encourage everybody to check out the docs. And then once the SDK is live, we're going to also publish it on the docs on how to use it, so people can easily plug in. Whether you're a blockchain engineer or you are a non-blockchain engineer, it's still fine. Yeah. So the next thing is there's something I really find very interesting, and it encourages me a lot, which is the amount of support which we've received, in the past. Past year, from 2020, even before then till now, we've received support from our private investors, from community members. But I really want to appreciate the private investors more, and our early backers. Like you have like Binance, you have like Google Developers Launchpad, other tier one investors that actually supported us from inception. It's been really remarkable working with them, because they've been really instrumental with multiple partnerships we've had. They've made things move faster than normal, right? So I mean, it's more like this saying that having yourself maybe stand on the shoulder of giants. I mean, these are giants, and really they've proven that they are giants by moving very heavy obstacles. It's really remarkable how fast things can get done, when you have very good partners, when you have very good backers. So we're really appreciative of everything they've done, and they also still continue to help out, right? Like one of the reasons we're very happy to be backed by like Binance is, there's a huge community. Binance team, they are always out there to help. Same with Google, same with other tier one investors, same with the community members. It's really interesting to see the amount of feedback you get, the amount of help you get when you just ask a question. Everybody is out there to try and help. So it's remarkable, and we really have to. I'm using this opportunity to say a very big thank you to all of them. Yeah. So I would like to also use this period. Okay, I've been able to speak for about 30 minutes. So I'll be checking out some questions from the community, and I'll be answering those questions because I know a lot of people will have a lot of questions. Yes. Give me a second. Let me go through some of the questions. Yeah. Okay. So someone is saying, why is the on-chain commission of your BSC 8 times higher than other projects? The normal BSC transaction fee is 0.2, but you have 1.6. So when it comes to gas fees, right? So one of the things that make gas fees go up, okay, is the smart contract interactions, which is very essential. So in Xend Finance, for example, it's not just a basic DeFi lending protocol, right? There are other services built around the lending service, right? So these other services there are multiple smart contracts that are connected to the Xend Finance core protocol. So this makes fees actually move up a little bit. So you see that, okay, there are some transactions on Xend Finance that will even be like, I think 0.1, or I think 0.01, very small amounts, right? But there are some transactions that will require higher fees. And this is also normal with other, like a little bit complicated or complex DeFi projects. Not everything has static fees. At times you see fees less than $1, right? So it varies, but fees are not high on ZenFi. That is already obvious. Fees are not high, okay? Because if it was on Ethereum, we will know that, wow, fees are really high, okay? Yeah, so fees are not high here. And whenever you see like some spike, these are the reasons. Someone says Pancake BSC DeFi. Is it okay? Yeah, like, okay, I think what he's trying to say is listing on Pancake Swap. So when it comes to listings, right, a lot of people have asked multiple questions about multiple exchange listings. So the thing is, commenting on listings really isn't very good. Why? Because at times you're not always in control of how your listing operation occurs or how things work when it comes to listing. So it's always very important not to try to maybe say something when you're not sure. We're always very careful about what we say, right? Especially when it comes to listing. Also, we also don't comment on things about pricing because, like I said earlier, one of the things we're building here is beyond token pricing, right? It's beyond, okay, what is the value of the tokens now? Okay, what we're trying to create real value that can help people, or is already even helping people. So, and that is the number one reason we're doing what we're doing. It's not really because or it's not really because of tokens going up or down. No. So we prefer not to comment on token pricing on exchange listings. So people will not see it as a way of, or a financial advice, maybe saying that, oh, tokens will go up, maybe you're listing on this exchange, so go and buy from here or hold your tokens. No way. We can't say that because that's not the main point of the protocol. The protocol is to solve a real problem here. So the tokens are more like their utility tokens, right? Governance tokens to be able to determine and to shape the direction of the protocol or the direction of the platform, that or direction of the organization. That's why we call it a DAO. That's a decentralized autonomous organization, where people can use these tokens to determine how the organization runs. Okay, so we're also going to be listing on more exchanges. So currently we're on 9 exchanges, officially supporting 2, but the other ones, of course, have our smart contracts there. So, but you have to verify before you buy or sell on any of those exchanges, right? That is your tokens if you want to. But what we're doing is we are definitely going to list on other exchanges. And the reason we're listing on other exchanges is to be able to make sure that people have access in different regions. So there are some exchanges that are very popular in some regions of the world, and they are not popular in other regions. There are some exchanges that can be accessed in some regions, but can't be accessed in other regions, right? There are some exchanges that will work well with some certain blockchains, because by building, like I mentioned, by creating our bridge, right, and allowing tokens flow between Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain, we've been able to create a system that is interoperable, right? So we've supported multiple blockchains, and by supporting multiple blockchains, you need to support exchanges on those blockchains, right? Especially when it comes to DEXs, that's decentralized exchanges that occur on certain blockchains only. So yes, we're going to be supporting multiple exchanges on different blockchains, and that's the much we should be able to do. Someone says, will there be staking in Xend Finance or just the one in Bitmax, Ascendex staking? Yeah, so there's going to be staking. So like I mentioned, we have a reward system, okay, and that reward system is the same. It's designed quite differently, right? And we can actually regard it as a staking program. So it's a reward system where, okay, you provide liquidity, right? A liquidity reward system. We provide liquidity, or you provide stable currencies that you save on the platform. When you save on the platform and you have your funds saved for over a month, right? When you're about to withdraw, you withdraw a certain amount, you withdraw your interest plus the overall amount you've saved or you've staked, plus Xend tokens. So you now get extra Xend tokens as reward, right? Now, the longer you save or the longer you stake those funds into the Xend Finance protocol, you actually earn more Xend tokens. So we're also going to be creating a calculator to enable you see how much you would earn when you have saved or you've staked some of the supported stable currencies on the Xend Finance protocol. So that is what we're doing. So yes, there will be staking on the protocol. 1 second, let me go through. 1 second. Okay. Yeah. So questions that have always come up over time is 1 second. Yeah. So questions that have also come up over time is when people ask things like, okay, I already mentioned that, things like questions that like maybe what exchanges and what are like other things like utilities of the tokens, right? And one thing I would like to mention strongly about our utilities is, one, we have the reward system where we reward people. We have the staking, which is currently happening on Ascendex. We also have the governance, right? Now, this governance is extremely important. And in Q3, we're going to be having the full breakdown of the governance structure and how it will work. So token holders will be able to propose votes. And apart from the fact that they can propose votes, those token holders will also be able to earn some revenue, right, by holding or by being governance token holders, or by participating in governance. So these are like things that will encourage people to be able to hold on to their tokens, because once the governance systems are activated, what happens is people with a certain amount of tokens can engage in governance. And when they stake those tokens, or when they lock up those tokens in those governance contracts, what happens as well is whenever the system earning money, because the system generates revenue from commissions, right? Whenever the system generates revenue from those commissions, what happens is a certain percentage of those commissions is distributed, right, to different governance token holders, depending on the amount of tokens or the amount of tokens they have on the contract. So these are ways to ensure that people get incentivized really for holding onto these tokens and using it to steer and to determine the directions of the platform. So I really want to encourage everybody to keep seeing how to improve the platform, seeing how to improve their holdings, because by improving your holdings of the Xend tokens, what it does is it gives you access to the platform, it gives you access to rewards on the platform. And one major thing that we want is driving adoption. I can't stress on that more, because by driving adoption, it means that we're going to be bringing people from the mainstream, people who are not crypto savvy, people who don't understand what crypto is all about. We're going to be able to bring them into the crypto space. And for us to do that, we need to do a lot of work. We need to be able to go to the streets. We need to be able to have seminars. We need to be able to have, educational content. So as much as possible, we're encouraging everybody to be able to reach out to us, tell us what you can do, your city, wherever you are. Reach out to us. We have admins on our Telegram chat. Telegram is the most effective. Reach out to us on Telegram. Reach out to us on Twitter. But Telegram is the most effective one. Let us know what you can do. If you're a designer, if you make videos, if you make educational content, if you have a large audience, that you speak to a large audience, and of course, this is something that will really help them over time. Reach out to us, because we're going to the streets, we're going to the people that really need this, right? And where I finally can really say how happy we are that we also have coverage from mainstream media, like TechCrunch. That was really amazing seeing the coverage of Xend Finance or TechCrunch. That was about 2 weeks ago or thereabout. Yeah, I think about 2 to 3 weeks ago. So this is something you don't see in the crypto space, right? TechCrunch covered the news about Xend Finance, about what we're doing, about the problems we're solving, about the potential, about some traction, about some things we're doing and how the future will be, about how we started. So having mainstream media cover what we're doing here, it speaks volumes. It lets us know as a community that this is not like the regular crypto projects out there. This is beyond just people having tokens, or people just having dealing on speculation. This is more like touching the lives of every other person out there, of the everyday man. And that is what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to make sure that we have more adoption, we have more people actually using this, and we're solving people's problems without them really even knowing how complex the system is at the back end. I'll use this example. A lot of us drive cars, right? A lot of us use mobile phones, but we don't even understand the level of complexity. A lot of us enter airplanes, right? We sit comfortably, we lock in our seatbelts, and then the plane takes off. But we don't understand how complex the engineering behind all those systems can be. But the thing is, you don't even care about the complexity. What you need is, you need to move from point A to point B. You take a plane and you're in point B. From point A, you need to move back, you take a plane. All you just need to do is to pay your fares and you're good. That is the same thing we're trying to do for these people. We don't need to bother them about the complexity of the blockchain. We don't need to tell them about transaction hashes, about chain finalities. We don't need to tell them about smart contracts. We don't need to tell them about things like wallet systems with very long and annoying strings, of characters that they don't even understand. So we try to mask all that complexity and just solve their problems. So we realize that in doing this, really, it's quite difficult, to say the very least. Okay, it's very difficult. So I think it's something we really need to see how, as a community, we can continue to show support, okay, by helping out in one way or the other, any way possible, suggestions, ideas, okay, doing stuff really helps out. Okay, so making very complex things, right, simple, that's art, really. Okay, that's art. I think that was from Charles Bukowski. Okay, so it's something that we really need to try and see how we can make very complex things very simple, so we can get these minds, these people that don't care about what is happening on the blockchain or about the complexities, get them onto the platform. Yeah. So I think that will be all from me now. And yeah, if you have more questions, if you have more suggestions, please come up to our Telegram community, follow us on Twitter, join our Telegram community, also subscribe to our newsletters. That's a very important part of our system of distribution of information, because our newsletters, we send out newsletters at least once a month. So telling you about, giving a recap about what we're doing, about what we're going to do in the future, and it gives you insight on what will occur even before it happens. So subscribe to our newsletter on the website, subscribe to our announcement channels on Telegram, and yeah, that will be all. And I'll connect with you guys again next month. Thank you very much. And yes, have a happy Easter holiday or a happy Resurrection Day. Yes, thank you very much.